Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long since I made a video. Got a cool one for you today. This is one of those new Pagani Speedmasters. So I've been waiting to do this for a while since I saw them come out. Finally got one. It actually shipped really quickly, which is cool with, I thought supply chain issues and whatever would, not being political here, whatever, so don't start a fight. I just thought that would slow down the overall transit time, but I got this in under 2 weeks, which is really cool. As you can see here, it's a fairly similar Pagani box as you always get. If anything, it's a little shinier blue than usual, but that's the only thing I noticed that's a difference. Popping it open here, as you can see, it's a standard box. The only cool thing is it comes with a NATO strap, which is really kind of cool for a Speedmaster. It's kind of right on brand, so I dig that. But let me pull the watch out here and we'll take a much closer look. So before I pop it out of the box here, I just want to go over some brief details about it. This is a quartz watch. It's the Seiko VK63 movement. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I could tell with a fairly extensive search on AliExpress, I could not find a mechanical version made by Pagani. So I went with the quartz. Doesn't really bother me. I kind of wanted to just see the design, see how well they replicated the Speedmaster. But this model is the PD1701. At least that's what my information shows. I know Pagani is kind of all over the place with their model numbers. So many of them are the same thing. But from what I could tell, this is the PD1701 and this is the quartz Seiko movement. So this is obviously not a mechanical watch. So if you aren't really into quartz watches, you can kind of stop watching this. But I think based on, what I've seen and what I've read, it's still a great piece. So let's dive into it. Pulling it out of the box here, first impressions, it does look great. It doesn't look identical to a Speedmaster. There's something about the face and I can't really tell what it is, and maybe the subdials, but it does look a little different. It doesn't really have as much of the I don't really know how to describe it, but the Speedmaster itself, where the hour markers are, is kind of raised and it gives it kind of a two-dimensional dial. This doesn't have it to the same extent, which I think is part of why it looks a little different. Just holding it, though, it's a decent weight. The thing I noticed right off the bat is the crown is a screw down, but the pushers are not. So this does mention 100-meter water resistance. I don't know if I would do that with non-screw down pushers. So right off the bat, kind of hesitant on that, but the crown itself does screw down. Taking a closer look at the overall design in the face, as you can see, it has the 3 subdials. It's got, the left subdial is for minutes while running the chrono. The bottom one is your second hand, which is always running. And the right subdial is a 24-hour clock. I don't really love the 24-hour clock on a chrono. I wish that was an hour marker so you can keep running the chrono for more than 1 hour. But overall, the face is nice. It's a little different than what I would say a Speedmaster looks like, in my opinion, but it is still a very nice looking watch. The tachymeter or tachometer, whichever you say, are on the outside. It looks very nice. It looks very similar. The attention to detail from what I can see, not zooming in on it super close, but just to the naked eye, looks very well made. The bracelet doesn't have any taper to it, so it's like one of the original Speedmaster bracelets, not the new one. The edges are a little sharp, which I've noticed on the past few Paganis I've gotten, that the round end links and the part that touches your skin, the roundness of it is actually more sharp than it is gentle. I don't really know how to explain it. It's round, but it's sharp. The clasp is a fairly similar Pagani clasp to the other the other Omega style watches they sell. It does feel a little bit cheaper. I do wonder if that's because it's quartz and they didn't put as much money into the making of this bracelet. There's a little wiggle also in the bracelet. It's not super tight, but I don't necessarily mind that. But overall design, aside from being slightly, from what I can tell, less well done in the bracelet than some of my other Paganis this is from right out of the box, a pretty great piece. Another cool feature to note is the Caseback. It's a shot of the moon, a ship, kind of an outer space scene. And it doesn't really mention anything. Oh, it does say right there PD1701, so that is definitely the model number, confirmed. It doesn't mention anything about, moon or anything like that. So the image itself is the only kind of, I guess, homage tip of the hat to the Speedmaster itself, but they're clearly making a point of mentioning the space heritage on this watch, which I think is kind of cool, and it looks nice. Looking at the lume on this watch, it's just very similar to the Speedmaster design, where it's the little outside part of the hour marker, so not the full hour marker, but just the very end of it, a little pip of it. The two dots at 12 o'clock, and then the hour and minute hand are loomed, and the tip of the second hand. It doesn't look like it lasts super long, but it's a nice color. It's not super green. It's kind of in that middle range, but it is a fairly decent lume. I don't know how much you'll be wearing this looking for the lume, but it's not bad. On the wrist, this watch wears very nice. The case is 40 millimeters. I haven't mentioned this yet, and it's 14 millimeters thick, so it's definitely not a small watch if you have a small wrist. But I do feel like it's been a while since I've had a Speedmaster and really worn one, but I do feel like it wears slightly smaller. That may be completely asinine and wrong, but it does. I feel like it is slightly less thick feeling or looking. Maybe the crystal isn't as domed on this as the actual Speedmaster is. There is a slight dome to it, as you can see here in the camera, but it does feel slightly less thick. You do feel some of those sharp edges, not as much as I have on some of the other Paganis that have had sharp edges, but it does kind of grab the hair a little bit, and it does feel a little bit sharp. This was slightly hard to size because you have to line up the middle polished links and the outside of the end links to get the pin through, so it was kind of hard to really kind of get the pin back in when resizing, but it went fairly smoothly. But it's definitely one of the harder watches I've had to resize. I've never actually resized the Speedmaster Omega on my own, so I don't know if that's what their middle links are like, or if they're connected in a way, but it was slightly hard to keep them fully connected as I was trying to get the pin back in. But it does wear great. There's 3 levels of micro adjustment, so it feels great on the wrist. All in all, I think this is a really good watch, especially for the price. It was like $85, $90. If you're looking for a Speedmaster type watch, they do, I think, come in a bunch of other colors. I'll try to throw them up here. There was a gold one. There was a blue one. So there are a lot of options if you want to check them out. AliExpress has a lot of them. That's where I get a lot of these. For a quartz watch, I'm pretty pleased with it. I normally don't love quartz watches because I kind of just love, knowing mechanically that I can keep it wound, don't ever have to change batteries, any of that kind of stuff. But it's a cool watch. It comes with the NATO strap. It looks good. It has a good heft and a weight to it, so it does kind of feel like you're wearing a heavy-duty mechanical watch. And I would definitely recommend it. I think it's cool. Check it out. If you like the design of a Speedmaster, definitely look for one of these. I obviously have my history with the Belova, and a lot of people got pissed off when I didn't like it because it was quartz and yada yada yada, but I'm sure they'll rip me apart here too because of it. But I do think this is a really cool watch, and I think it's a really great Speedmaster homage, regardless of what you think of those. So if you're looking for it, check it out on AliExpress. And, I give it a cool review, a good rating, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I'll have a new watch for you fairly soon. And I do have a giveaway coming up fairly soon, too, if you made it to the end of this video to even hear that. But thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.